Video game bang, video game bang, video game bang.
Just letting you guys know.
Mega Brand. Live from the sack, it's the livest. In fact, I'm putting rhymes on this track to put my guys on the map. Updates, geek news, tech talk, and reviews. They can summarize it so you ain't gotta breeze through. Listen once and you're forever fans. And I'm not saying it because their theme song features Mega Ram, the ultimate source of all geek media. Other podcasts, they just don't match up. Need proof? You can check the archives and catch up. Stats off the chain, we have rearranged the game. It'll never be the same. Now it's time to feel the bang.
I just realized about 0.5 seconds ago that I'm the one that's supposed to talk there. So I don't have anything prepared. Hi, welcome to Video Game Bang. It's Wednesday, and I don't want to be hosting ever.
But you are.
But I am because Corey is still out of town. Webb is not here. Everybody's gone, and I have to hold it down, and I'm sorry to everybody. So hi. You know me. I'm Emma. We're gonna go away from me now. Hey Eddie, what's up?
What
Eddie's
is
here.
up, y'all guys? How you guys doing? It's a late Wednesday night, but we're here to talk about video games, TV, movies, everything else in between.
See, you've got you've got a podcast voice. You have like a radio voice. You have it down. I sound like a mouse on E.
Okay, do you want me to turn to? Hey guys, I'm glad you guys can have me on. It's just really good.
Is this the NPR edition of VGB?
Yeah. There you go. Well, let's throw it to the guy to my left, Mr. Curtis.
Curtis is not here.
Only
the
Zool.
Black Wakanda. Only Zool. That's a good reference.
There you go.
Oh, no, it's your boy Skip. What up, everybody? I came back to, I don't know, piss off all the people that I do podcasts with and simultaneously give them gifts. People don't know how to feel about me. I'm controversial. You hate me. You love me. At the same time, it's
weird. Does anybody hate you? I feel like you're not hateable.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that people that love me, I don't know. There's got to be people that hate to love you, right? Maybe that's what it is.
There's always got to be haters. As long as you got haters, you're successful.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
That's how it goes.
Well, I'm a loser because Emma says I have none. So thanks, Eddie. You proved Emma right.
Wow. This is taking a turn. This is great. Everything.
This is psychological game bang or whatever we're gonna be talking here. Not just
psycho game.
People need to come back in town, so I'm not in charge of this anymore. I don't like this responsibility. Please take it from me. So we got some stuff to talk about today. We had some stuff, and then we came in, and that's the thing is, like, I like before the show because we all just kind of sit down and talk with each other, and then we're like, cool, there's like 12 other things that we're supposed to talk about today. Great. And then you try to like not get all of the conversation out before we start recording, so we don't have to like recreate conversations.
It's hard not to because we're nerds, and like, I don't know how everybody else is. Chat doesn't do it enough for me sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I need to be in a room full of people.
What is this that's happening here?
Oh my god, that's our stupid. I'm not in charge of that.
This has literally been happening for the last like 30 seconds. I'm just watching.
It's our stupid subscriber alert. Game bad. Thank you for the sub. I'm not in charge of that. I have nothing to do with that. The GIF is not my responsibility. The sound is not my responsibility.
I'm like, should this be coming up on my? Oh, there it is again.
Oh my god!
Don't worry, Eddie. You didn't break anything.
I'm like, okay, just making sure.
This is why I don't wear headphones because I don't have to hear that every time.
You didn't break anything, and she hates this, and I'm here for it. Let's go.
There you go. And we got a stormtrooper too. We're good to go.
And there's a stormtrooper where Webb would usually be. Yeah. So we got some news today. We got some stuff to catch up on. But I got really excited when I realized that we are. Just a few days past the Emmys, and I was like, let's talk the Emmys, and you guys are both like, I don't watch that
anymore. I mentioned that I used to watch it a lot, but not anymore. But now I get to be the guy. You're not alone,
because I think this was the lowest rated Emmys in like 20 years.
Oh crap!
Yeah, nobody fucking watches. Nobody watches this shit anymore.
Right now, like, everything's about movies, so you got everybody focusing on. Right now, we're in the midst of. Curtis, you would know, like, we're in the midst of Oscar season right now.
But even the Oscars are like not well rated anymore.
No, not so much. But then you still got like the BAFTAs, you got the Critics' Choice, the Globes. I mean, the Tony Awards, for God's sakes, probably got more viewers than this.
Probably, yeah.
It was a good show.
From what I hear, I mean, we were just talking about it before we went on the air, and you were talking about how you were just over the moon. Emma Skies just.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding.
See, you got. This is why I take the headphones off, because I can't focus when I'm listening to whatever's happening over your pocket. If you guys on the audio podcast can't hear, one of our viewers in chat is gifting subs, and every time that goes off, there's like an audio cue that goes with it, and it's stupid long.
I'm trying to watch.
Focus.
I'm trying to watch levels here and everything, and every time all I see is just Emma starting to.
It's horrible.
She's doing the whole or what is it? A Suicide Squad, wibble wobble.
What, the Suicide Squad wibble? Oh my god, I hate
the hula dance from Suicide Squad.
Oh gosh,
I hate it. I hate everything. But yeah, so I love award season. It's like my one thing. I know it's all rigged. Well, most of it's rigged. I know it all comes down to how much money you spend, and all these awards are bought for the most part. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I love it. I love it. I love the awards.
I think
love
she loves
watching
it.
Shit. I love it.
I think she loves it.
I love the dresses. But so the big thing this year was obviously it was Game of Thrones last year. So it was its last year for eligibility in the Emmys. So it was nominated for a ton. And it actually won. So the weekend before the Emmys are the Creative Arts Emmys, which are like all the technical awards.
Yeah.
It swept. It won like 10 Emmys that night.
Dang.
And it's not televised. That's all like effects and all the technical shit. And then the televised one is for like actors, directors, writers, all that stuff. So
The people that actually other people see.
yes, yeah,
Just-
the things
let's
that
just
you
be
would
honest.
notice and things that they think you would care about. So Game of Thrones actually didn't win a lot that it was nominated for. It was nominated for some writing, which it didn't win, which was well deserved. It should not have won. The finale episode was nominated for writing. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
A ballsy person is what you are.
And a
You know,
baller.
they have to submit that. They
That's
looked
right.
at the episode and they were
my
like, yes,
God.
this is deserving of an award. Fuck all our other episodes. This is the one we're putting up.
They're like, well, here you go. Just
Shameful.
Like, damn. So,
Shameful.
like, y'all could nominate your own shitty episode, but you couldn't put up Alfie Allen and Gwendolyn Christie, and they had to submit and pay to submit themselves.
By themselves. That's shameful.
Neither of them won, though, so it's upsetting.
Right.
But yeah, so they were nominated for writing. They were nominated for directing, also for the last episode,
Oh my
as well as
gosh.
the Long Night, which was the one that was really, really dark and nobody could see.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
everybody
Was nominated
complained
for
about, and
directing.
they had to go back and lighten it and then upload it again
Yeah.
to HBO.
So it was nominated for writing. It was nominated for directing. For actresses, Emilia Clarke was nominated for Best Lead, and
Okay.
she didn't get it. And that's like the one where I'm like, this bullshit.
And if I remember earlier, you said that she never.
I don't
won
think
the
she
whole
ever
time.
won an Emmy for Daenerys, which is bullshit.
Shameful.
I cannot believe. I don't understand. So she didn't win for that. She was
Okay.
nominated. I believe Jodie Comer won that for Killing Eve.
for Killing Eve, yeah.
Which,
Okay.
phenomenal.
Okay.
But still.
Okay. Okay.
But still, not a bad loss.
Okay.
And then for supporting actress, Sansa, Arya, Brienne, and Cersei were all nominated in that category, and none of them won. And it was like the chick from Ozark, which I don't watch, so I tried to watch that show and I didn't get into it. But what? That, like, the actors and actresses got screwed, because let's be real, they fucking carried the whole season.
Yep.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
It was garbage, but they had to carry the season on their backs because
Ruru doesn't apparently agree with you.
Cersei didn't do jack this year. Okay, I'm telling you, the writing wasn't great, but they did so much with it. They gave it their all. They were like, this is the only saving grace of the season was their acting.
Yeah,
it was all
true.
so good.
I'm thinking back right now because we all watched it and we did those Patreon podcasts together.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I'm trying to think of. I'm just trying to be objective and think of male actors that carried it more, because definitely Arya, Sansa, Daenerys, Cersei, the actress, she still played her role, but those three ladies for sure. And then Jon Snow was Jon Snow. I get it, he's hot, but like he didn't act his ponytail off. You know what I mean? What other male characters kind of really did a good job?
I believe Peter Dinklage won for Best Supporting Actor.
Okay, so I could definitely
Okay.
put him up there. He always kills it. Okay.
So Peter Dinklage, he
Okay. Mm-hmm.
was the one actor from the show that won. He won for Best Supporting Actor. And Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, I can't pronounce his name.
Which character does he play?
Fucking Cersei's brother. Who? Why am I forgetting a Game of Thrones
Bran?
name right now? No.
Oh, Cersei's
Jamie
brother.
Lannister?
Jamie,
Oh,
thank you.
Jamie
Oh my
Lannister.
God,
Like,
why did I forget
Jamie
the name? Jamie
Lannister?
Lannister.
Oh.
There was something wrong with me.
So, okay,
That's true.
so he did a good job, but I can't put him on the Arya Peter Dinklage. I can't put him on
Yeah.
that tier. He did a good job, but I can't put him
Arya
up
should
there.
have won that supporting actress. I don't give a shit about Ozark. I don't care how good she is. Maisie Williams should have taken that home.
She murdered it. And if you look at it statistically, like with probability, being that they had 3 people in one category for it, four ladies.
Brienne was nominated too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Another person? She
nominated herself.
She was fantastic. How did not one of them win?
I have no idea. I have no
One out of 4?
idea. I have no idea. So all it won over the course of this night, at least the televised night, was that Peter Dinklage won for supporting actor, and it did take home the big award of the night. It won Best Drama.
Okay.
Which
I mean, you gotta
that's
the one
I don't know about.
Exactly. You gotta figure like this is their what do you call it?
Their farewell tour.
Exactly. Their whole like posthumous
their
award.
swan song.
Their opus.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like this is the Emmys' last opportunity to say, okay, you guys didn't win anything else, but we want you to know we see you.
Yeah, exactly.
And goodbye. Farewell.
Yeah. And as much as like it shouldn't matter that it's their last one, I'm sure it does. Although Veep did not get the same treatment because it's Veep's last year as well.
Yeah, that's true.
And it did not win because Fleabag swept the entire show.
Yep.
Fleabag won everything for comedy. Best actress, best comedy, best directing, best writing, I think.
I'm looking right now.
It killed
won quite
everything.
a bit.
The only thing it didn't win was best supporting actor because
That
Tony
went to
Shalhoub
Tony
won.
Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Which Tony Shalhoub is awesome.
Do you watch Maisel?
Oh yeah, I've seen all of them. Yeah.
hey.
So good.
Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Heck good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Tony Shalhoub is just phenomenal in that series.
So Fleabag was this year's Mrs. Maisel because last year like Maisel swept everything.
Right,
and
I remember,
Fleabag
yeah.
just destroyed everything.
I guess I gotta watch this Fleabag.
There's an amazing picture of Phoebe Waller-Bridge at the end of the night. She's got 5 Emmys around her and a martini and a cigarette, and she's just like,
this is life
"This
right
is
now.
it. This is it."
I love it.
Alex Bornstein got
yeah.
supporting actress for Marvelous Miss Maisel as well.
Yes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Hey.
which she had an incredible whole speech that kind of started the night off at a
my
really
God.
high point. So
That was the first speech of the night. Hers, if you didn't get a chance to see it, I would recommend going and looking at Alex Borstein's speech. Actually, her speech from last year, too, because it's funny. But this year was like it hit hard. As a first speech of the night, they're like, oh, okay, this is how we're starting.
Okay. Hey, I like that.
It was a really good night, though. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really big. I think Chernobyl won for best limited series, which was obviously well deserved. I think the one that I didn't actually watch A Very English Scandal, but Ben Whishaw won best actor for limited series over Jared Harris in Chernobyl, who I think should have taken it.
Okay.
yeah.
Should've
And then
taken it.
Bill Hader won for lead actor in a comedy series with Barry.
Did he win lead actor? Because I know he won. I thought he won. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, he won for lead actor in the comedy series for a series Barry.
Hell yeah, that show is hilarious. Mm-hmm. And then the one that I'm thinking of is what's his face? Jason Bateman won best directing for a drama series. And that was the one, like, if you had seen any of, like, the reactions or anything, that was one, because he couldn't believe, he was against 4 episodes of Game of Thrones. His face when he won was fucking hilarious. Everybody, like, I saw it, somebody posted it in slow motion. Everybody around him freaks out, and he's sitting there, like, dead face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because he was up against one of the directors for Killing Eve for 1, 2, 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, The Handmaid's Tale, and Succession. Adam McKay, director Adam
McKay.
He's on there, and Jason Bateman won for his directing contributions in Ozark.
and he gets up and he's like, well, this is something.
He's like, I actually didn't expect to win or something. So
Hey, I like Jason Bateman. And I'll give it to him. He's been grinding, like, from acting to, like, doing a little bit of production and writing. It's cool to see him get something, because he's definitely one of those guys that can go under the radar the whole time. But every time you see him, he gives a quality performance, and he always does quality work. So I'm happy for him.
yeah, completely. I mean, Jason Bateman is one of those types of guys where you've seen the progression visibly, not just from behind the scenes, but visibly. You've seen him from his time, doing short parts in movie or TV shows and movies to his stint in Arrested Development, and then you see him doing lead roles in films like with what was that one with Will Smith? That movie where Will Smith plays a superhero.
Oh,
Hitch.
yeah. No.
It's a weird name.
Fuck, what was it called?
With
Yeah.
the goggles and the beanie.
Yeah. Oh my
It's
god.
a really
this is-
weird name.
We
I'm
know
gonna
what you're
look
talking
it
about.
up.
We know what you're talking about.
And then moving from that to things like horrible bosses and everything else that he started doing after that, and then ultimately moving to leading his own series. I mean, we've seen his progression. We've seen Hollywood take notice of him. Huh? Hitchcock. Hancock.
Yeah.
Hancock. Sorry.
Hitchcock.
Sorry. I was thinking of a good one.
Did
So
they
just-
make a dual sequel when Hancock and Hitch got put? Because I would
yeah.
actually watch that.
I would watch that. It'd be interesting to see how that floated.
Yeah.
But
Where's
like,
the crossover with that and my super ex-girlfriend?
Ooh.
you would have. Well, the thing is, you would have to bring in Luke Wilson, and
Bring in Owen too. I love me some Wilsons and Wes Anderson.
you know, a quick little tidbit about that movie. Did you know that they had to get a butt double for Luke Wilson?
Did they
That's
really?
upsetting.
There's a scene
So
in the film
funny.
where they show his butt, and they
Yeah.
were saying he wasn't as muscular
Yeah.
for the scene, so
Yeah.
they actually had to get a
That's-
body double
Aw.
for one of the scenes, and yeah.
He
And-
shouldn't feel too bad. Chris Evans got a butt double for that cap scene in Endgame, and so did
Oh,
Brie
why would you
Larson.
tell me that? I don't need to know that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just let me believe that's his ass.
Hey.
Let me have this.
That's
over the-
America's ass.
See,
Get it
over,
right.
and over the weekend I kept saying, "Don't worry about it, Cap. That's America's ass."
Exactly.
Like my favorite line from the movie.
But yeah, apparently Luke Wilson had to go in and like see a bunch of other people's butts just to
Oh, really?
compare
God.
to like
To pick out the
Oh, I
this
hate
is
it.
this one's a little firmer than I think is mine. I think we're good. We'll go with some other guy and just
Hey, at least he got to pick his ass. At least he got to pick the ass he wanted. I'd rather do that than have somebody else pick my ass. I'm just saying.
I'll stick to my own. I'll do my own.
Hey, me too. I ain't doing too bad in that category.
Anyway, hey, cool. So the Emmys were this weekend,
There
and
you go.
that's how it went. And I hate where this conversation.
Oh
went.
hey, look, Emma's gyrating again on the screen.
Why you gotta say it like that?
What else is that called?
I don't
Because
know.
Corey's not here and someone's gonna be creepy.
I
don't
mean,
know.
look, what do you call that?
I don't.
What do you call that?
Again, for the audio podcast, this makes no sense. They have no idea what's happening.
That's
They'll just never
Eh.
know.
It doesn't look as good, but I tried.
But yeah,
There
so
you
that
go.
was the Emmys this weekend. Very exciting. Very. I mean, I like it.
But I mean, other exciting stuff happened earlier this week in the gaming world, right?
Yes.
There's stuff that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, there was a thing yesterday. So we talked earlier this year about how PlayStation was skipping E3.
Right.
They were just like, you know
Right.
what? Fuck you. We'll have our own show.
We'll do our own.
So they've done a couple of these state of play. Basically, they're like little press conferences
Yeah.
for PlayStation. That's
Taking a page out of Apple's playbook.
sincerely cheaper than them going to E3 for $1 million. So state of play for PlayStation was yesterday.
That it
And as we're all aware, we got the trailer for Humanity.
We did.
was. We got the trailer for something.
I don't know what that is, but I want it.
It's one of those things where it's like you look at it, and honestly, at first when I saw it, because I was watching it live when it was streaming, at first I was like, well, maybe this is just some kind of abstract like intro for Sony. Like maybe they're just trying to do something like artsy fartsy or whatever for the beginning, and then it was like title, and I'm like, maybe
No.
this is just a sponsor for Sony. They're just trying to do something, and then it's like, yeah, check out Humanity when Humanity comes out. Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, that's a game.
I don't understand, but I want it. And what kills me, so if you haven't seen it, go watch the trailer for Humanity. It looks super, super weird. I don't even know how to explain what it is.
Yeah.
Like a weird, it's like almost like a proof of concept of like flow mechanics, but with people. And it's super weird. And what takes it over the edge for me is that it's in VR.
Yeah.
And all I want to know is how. What's the perspective?
Because you had mentioned that we were talking about it before we went on the air, and we were talking about how just weird it is altogether. And then you're like, oh yeah, and it's in VR, and I'm like, how the hell is that supposed to work?
So Curtis, you saw the trailer for that one, right?
I did, yeah, I
So
watched it.
what I want it to be in VR is I
Okay.
want you to be just one of those people. You're just one of them in that fucking sea, like going
falling
off
off the
edge
cliff,
of a
just-
building and getting pushed off a bridge. That's what I want it to be in VR.
But
I'll experience that. That would be hella fun to me, especially since I've never gone. What do you call it, like skydiving or whatever?
Oh yeah.
That's all you need.
Yep.
I was telling Emma, it looks a lot like Total Accurate Battle Simulator. Like to me, like if you
okay.
ever played that on Steam,
I haven't played that.
you literally just pit two armies together and you have them fight against each other, and it's all just like natural physics, fluid physics that work together, and they just come against each other and fight and whatnot, and the last people who are standing win essentially. So you just gotta create your army, and mind you, ever since they created that game, they've played smaller ports that work on your phone and stuff like that, and so it's gotten more into the mainstream, but it just looks like that version polished and artsy for PlayStation.
And it's funny that you say that, because now that's starting to make sense, especially with kind of like the proliferation of the word escapes me right after I had it. The simulators, you know, like the chicken simulator. There was like a weird like goat simulator or something.
Goat
like
farming
is
simulator.
A gem, okay.
I'm not saying it's not.
Emma's about to reach over this table.
I know, she's about to backhand me. I was like, Emma, not on camera.
Don't mess
I have
with
that
my
game
goats.
on Xbox and PC. I have 2 copies of that game.
So she would have slapped me twice. We can't let the viewers see the physical violence that happens here.
Exactly.
But that makes sense, and for them to incorporate it, especially for the more hardcore gamers that are into that and kind of know about goat simulators and whatnot, that's kind of smart, and you know, to keep it enough for the casual fans to make it look really, you know, nice and fancy with the nice slow-mo and stuff that they did. I think it's going to be one of those things where the gameplay, I think, is going to make it or break it. So
I agree. I think this is one of those types of games where the VR seems just like a huge...
I just want to know what it is.
I have no idea. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you're going to create just a more polished version of tabs.
Right.
Total accurate about whatever. That's what it's called, tabs. Yeah. You're just going to create a very more, like, polished version of that.
Yeah.
But then what? You're going to give people front row seats of what that kind of chaos and destruction is going to look like?
Yes.
I mean, is this like that, or is this just another type of, you know, another cluster truck? Like in that aspect, like just something that goes from one point to the next, and you're just a part of that in terms of VR. Because if I think VR in that aspect, I think that's what it will be closest to.
That's true, and that's dang. And it's easy to see how it could end up being that. And that's the thing too, like the artsier that you lean into it, the more you lean into the graphics, what's the natural reaction? The more you start taking away from the gameplay, kind of the more freedom gets taken away. I don't know. Well, I think the gameplay is going to make it or break it still, but I don't know. It looks really good. So
we'll see.
Yeah. So there's like some other little things, like Civ 6 is coming to PS4 in November. LA Noire, they're making more shit for LA Noire, which I think came out like 10 years ago now.
It really, I think it did.
But it's close to 10 years. Anything regarding noir, I'm always up for.
But there's some new LA Noire stuff in VR if anybody wants it. There's
2011. So
yeah,
8 years
so
ago.
we're going close to 10 years on that one.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
There was a trailer for a game called Arise, which looks like it's gonna be interesting, and then they announced that the free game for October is The Last of Us, leading into the fact that we got a Last of Us 2 trailer and release date. We got a fucking February 21st.
Here's the funny thing.
February
21st.
But you said it wasn't going to happen before the end of 2019. You said it.
I did.
Yeah.
I told y'all.
Yep.
Well, here's the funny thing. So we were talking, obviously, before we went on the air about all the stuff we were going to be going over, and Emma's like, well, let's watch the trailer real quick. So we put the trailer on. Apparently, Emma hadn't seen the full trailer.
I hadn't seen it.
Well, I know, but okay, you didn't know, but she knew, but she told us because she's on that trailer kick where she wants to know less about the movie and
But
know
I
less
didn't even
about
do it on
the game.
purpose.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
I
thought I had seen it because I looked it up and I saw the trailer, quote unquote, that was shown to me was the section of the trailer where she's fighting.
Oh, okay.
And that's really all I saw. Is I just saw her fighting, and it was the voice line which talks about how she's doing, or how far would you go to get revenge, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the release date, and I was like, cool, that's the trailer. Yeah. He pulls up like this 4-minute trailer that I didn't see.
It's literally the same trailer that we played during the State of Play.
I didn't get to watch it live.
So they played the same one? Okay.
Yeah, because they pretty much parceled out all the individual trailers from the thing, and then they just created secondary posts on them.
Yeah.
So, but we were watching it, and we were like, oh, this is cool, whatever, you know, and she's like, oh, this is this is awesome, whatever. And then, what is your biggest concern? Because we talked about it.
Okay, so
go ahead, I'll give you the floor.
This is peak. This is so on brand for me right now. If you know,
You have no
the show,
idea.
This is so on brand for me. So, okay, we got the trailer earlier this year, or earlier last year, actually.
Earlier last year,
Last year, we got the announcement trailer, and
Right.
we saw the scene in the barn, and Ellie's dancing with that girl, and then
Right.
they kiss, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
we're doing it. We're doing it. She's
yeah.
gay. I'm so happy. Like,
Right.
I'm about it. I'm
Right.
here for my gay baby. I'm
Right.
so like, let's do it. Let's
Your
give
gay-
you a
your
lead.
gaby.
My gaby. Let's
Yeah.
give her a relationship. Give her agency. Give
Right.
them like just go like lead role. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Representation. I'm about it. I'm hype. I'm ready.
Right.
So we get this trailer
Yeah.
and they lean into it, and I'm so happy. Like it starts with her and Gina, who I don't know if we already knew her name was Gina or not, but she and Gina are talking about their kiss, and it's very cute and it's amazing.
Okay. Mhm.
And then it goes through a series of events, and you're led to believe that Gina is killed.
Right.
And then this whole game is Ellie going on a hunt for revenge because they killed her girlfriend.
Yep.
That's what
I'm
we
like,
thought.
you gave us a gay relationship that we were all ready for, all here for. Well, not all of us. We
Yeah.
were here for it. We're ready
a lot
for
of
it.
people were, yeah.
You gave us this representation, and like you made a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
And then you fridged her.
Yep.
Immediately, we didn't even get to you fridged her in the trailer.
Well, and here's the thing. So I was thinking about what what you were talking about. We technically don't know
right, you
when
don't know.
that.
You don't know if she's
when.
dead.
Right.
Exactly. We don't
I'm
know.
hoping.
So here's the thing, because I was telling her, I was looking this up. The Last of Us director Neil Druckmann said, while the first game was about love,
Right.
this game will be about hate. So, if the focus here is that she's driven by hate,
Right.
what is she driven by? Like, what is the level of hatred? Like, is it hatred out of like just retribution out of what happened to her, or something that was taken from her?
Right. Right.
Like
So-
her beautiful girlfriend.
Her beautiful girlfriend.
Stolen
Yes.
from all of us.
Right.
Gina was taken from all of us, okay?
Yeah, this is true. They fridged her.
So, I mean, that is, like, the one thing I was thinking. I was like, first of all, they don't show what happens, so it could be that it wasn't Gina that dies. It could be that nobody dies. I'm hoping she doesn't die. But given how the first game started, and the fact that, like, I wonder if they're just going to that formula again, where that's just how this game is going to start. Which, at the same time, I'm like, I mean, that's a little repetitive, but I don't know.
It's hard.
I mean-
it's hard to say. Well, let me ask. Oh no.
No, go ahead.
You first. No.
Well, I was just gonna say that it's when you have a formula that works, why deviate?
I mean, why deviate? But, like, it's the same beginning.
Well, yes and no. The first beginning was something of more of a friendship. This is dealing more in the idea of a relationship, possibly. Or
Well, I mean, like, because the opening scene of the first game is you lose your daughter. Like, she dies. She's shot in front of you, and she dies, and that's how the game starts.
yes,
So, like, and, like, that's your whole, like, motivation for a while until you meet Ellie, and then she becomes your motivation, but it's still tied back to that person that died in the beginning, and, like, it all comes back to that. But, like, they're just gonna... It looks, the way that they're making it appear is that this game is going to run very similarly, in that you're going to lose somebody in the very beginning, and that's going to drive your motivation for the rest of the game.
Right.
it's a possibility. I mean,
Which I'm like, I mean, I sound like I'm shitting out. I'm so fucking excited.
no,
I'm
I
beyond
agree.
excited for this game.
But I mean, let's just be point blank honest. I don't think anything's gonna match the emotional charge from that first
No.
film
No,
of like,
because you didn't know it was coming.
holy hell.
Like that set the tone for everything. You had no idea what you were getting into.
I've never cried in the first 10 minutes of a video game until I played that game.
It was
Like, I'm like,
horrible.
I literally lost it. I was like, I gotta put this on pause. I gotta step outside.
It was
I need to take a break.
horrible.
And the game hadn't even started.
Just openly weeping.
Hey,
Oh.
that's good writing. So my question was,
Yeah.
Obviously, the way that people set up trailers is to make you believe or think down
Yeah.
a certain corridor or alley.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we're at, and this is obviously it was a strong enough indication that the girlfriend is dead, and her motivation is going to be, revenge, and like
Yeah.
you said, which avenue is it coming from? That you've taken something from me, or I just want to take something from you now,
Yeah,
whatever. But the quality of it alone and the interest, like, I'm assuming it has you guys pulled in enough to just see where it goes.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
I don't
True.
need a trailer for this game.
Okay.
Like,
However-
you just drop it, and I'm like, cool, mine. I'll take it. I'll buy it. I'll spend
Okay.
all my money. Yes.
They're very
Okay,
true,
okay.
but let's be brutally honest with ourselves.
Okay.
There are people who are much more devoted to certain stances and whatnot.
Right.
Maybe even more so, a little bit more than Emma.
Uh-huh.
No offense.
No, yeah.
But I feel like this is a situation where it has to be done very delicately because not many opportunities do you get to introduce your protagonist character and openly promote that the character is openly gay.
Right.
And then create an opportunity where there's a
then immediate
valid
killer.
and fruitful relationship that may be blossoming and then fridge her significant other in the game.
Right,
like
right.
I feel like that could have some really huge backlash. So I feel like this is one of those situations where yes,
Right.
people are still going to pay money to go and get the game. I
Right,
agree
right,
100%.
right.
I'm going to go and buy the game. I don't even have a PS4. I'm going to borrow one to play the game.
Right.
But bottom line is, if the people who are playing the game are interested in seeing that relationship blossom and
Right.
create into something
That's-
else,
right,
and it's fridged within, just like in the first film,
Right.
it's fridged in the first 15 minutes, there's going to be people who are not happy.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
me off.
That's
I'm so upset.
That's true. Because I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Because see, you have a person like Emma who, like, you know, your interests are a bit. I don't want to say divided. Let's call them. Well,
A bit different from your main cast of gamers, perhaps.
right. So
True.
so you have an interest in the relationship as well as just a core interest in the game and the story and everything gameplay. And I guess it is difficult to balance because you're right. If one thing is not highlighted, you know, in such a way, then it could be that, you know, yeah, those people that came for only that thing. Let's say people, maybe someone who's not a hardcore gamer like you, maybe someone who's more of a casual gamer, but does see the representation that they want to see. If they come in and then that gets thwarted or that gets changed or whatever, you know, on that note, then that could turn them off immediately to where maybe it is a good story, but they won't even be invested because the thing that they came for was not fulfilled.
Yeah.
So Eddie's right. You do have to. It's a bit of a delicate dance because if you don't honor certain things enough that maybe this one audience only came here for, you know, then you deviate them. Or if you highlight things so much, but then you take away from the story, or maybe say the gameplay, then some other people that just came for that story, maybe they're turned off a little bit. So, you know, but overall, even though there's two ways to falter, overall, I think it's more of an opportunity. And if done correctly, there could be a whole lot of people that are very happy about all the things that this game has to offer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm against fridging generally.
Sure.
But, like, it just sucks. So, well, I mean, again, we don't know that that's what it is.
Exactly. We're led to believe,
Yeah.
but we haven't played the game yet, so we don't.
So,
know.
but yeah, and they announced the collector. There's like a regular edition, the collector's edition, and the Ellie edition. So there's like, they announced
really?
a whole bunch of different editions of the game that are going to come out. February 21st, 2020
Okay.
is the release date we finally have.
woo-woo.
Fucking take your time off work, mark your calendars. I'm excited.
And no,
so
the conversation didn't scare me away. I just had to go check something. Sheesh.
Wow. And then speaking of special editions, they also announced going away from The Last of Us, they announced a special edition PS4 Pro for Death Stranding.
Ooh.
And the PlayStation looks fucking sick,
Yeah, it
but
does.
the controller is hideous.
The controller looks like something I would have gotten back in like 2007, 2008 for my
does.
PS2.
Yes, it does. It's hideous.
It really does
The
look.
only thing that's cool is the touchpad on the controller has the Death Stranding logo, and it looks really good. I'm like, can I just take that touchpad and put it on a regular
But then it's piss
controller?
yellow.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's ugly.
And it's like that see-through, which
Yes,
is like okay
exactly.
in some colors, but looks like garbage
Exactly.
on that yellow. It's bad, but I want that PlayStation, but that controller can stay.
I don't know what the whole like. Still, has there been any release of a storyline or a thread? At least something
so
solid.
they put out a new trailer or a new scene. It's like 8 minutes long at the Tokyo Game Show,
Okay.
and they put out an hour of gameplay at the Tokyo Game
They
Show.
did. Okay.
But
Okay.
it's all in Japanese, so I
Oh,
don't
lovely.
know. The trailer's in English, but the gameplay is in like it's all narrated in Japanese. But I watched the trailer and I don't know that I can explain it.
I
But to
I
me,
don't
that's
even,
not a bad thing.
It's still a bad thing because I'm just like, I'm one of those types of people who are like, I just want to see what it's going to look like.
Well,
like,
so, I mean, if you want to get, like, you can see what the game looks like because they did a bunch of gameplay. Oh, they also, so it's a third-person camera, and one of the things that I did see is if you try to look up Norman Reedus' crotch, he punches you in the face.
we did talk about that last week. That is pretty funny.
That's funny.
So, yeah, there's, Eddie just pulled up the PlayStation. The PlayStation looks good. It looks so cool, but that controller is hideous.
I'm going to go ahead and go on the record. I'm that one guy. I'm the one guy that likes the controller. and I understand. It looks like a combination of Coors Light and piss.
It does.
But to me, all I see is Wu-Tang Clan yellow. I'm sorry.
Man.
That's all I see.
So if you're coming from the premise of like, okay, I'm going to get this and then I'm going to pimp it out after the fact.
Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah.
But this
I
right here
and stuff. Yeah.
looks like something that I see on some of the YouTube channels that I watch where they have to restore it after the fact. I feel like this thing has sat in the sun for far too long and got weathered really bad, and it needs to be fixed. I'm looking at it, and the first thing I think is, this needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
Shred him.
No, I understand the perspective. I can see it. Well, we can all agree on this. The console is definitely easily
it does
the
look good.
Badass part about it.
Good.
Yeah, I love the name of the game, like right in that center bar.
that's perfect.
It looks great.
I love the reverse Oreo cookie effect on it. It's fantastic.
It's a reverse Oreo. I like how you put that.
If you watch the trailer they put out, like the 8-minute trailer they put out from the Tokyo Game Show, it gives you more insight into the purpose of the game and the storyline of the game and what you're actually going to be doing. And then if you watch the gameplay that they put out, you can see like what the actual game itself is going to look like. So we are getting some, and it's one of those like Kojima, I think if he had his way, wouldn't put any of this out. Because he clearly wants the game to be played with as little information as possible.
Oh,
going into
clearly.
it.
Yeah.
And
Clearly.
he put out a statement before they released all this, and he's like, if I had it, like, basically saying the same thing. He's like, if I had it my way, I think that this game should be played not knowing what it is going into it. I think you should not know what is happening, but I understand that people want to know what they're buying.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give you, XYZ information this weekend. Feel free to watch it if you want. If you don't, if you want to experience this game the way I think it should be experienced, don't watch it.
Yeah.
I like that, and I can already hear the fiery meeting between Hideo and marketing. You gotta give us something. Our ass is on the line. We have to sell this game, otherwise we don't have jobs to promote the next one.
No.
And he's like,
No.
It's like, at least give us something
Put my name on it, they will buy it.
at least during that marketing meeting, at least give us something for the pervs. Let them try to touch him.
Right.
Let him try to just get close to him. What's he going to do? What would Norman Reedus do in a situation like that?
no.
Oh, man.
What?
Right?
Nothing? No. He'll say no with his fist. He'll punch
say
him in
no.
the
Hey,
face.
there you go. We'll release gameplay of that. It'll be good.
Perfect. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be
so
dope.
the one thing we did not get from the PlayStation State
It's
of
a
Play,
big disappointment.
there was no Batman announcement.
No.
We were all. Did we talk about this on Saturday? I don't think.
We talked about it off air.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it was actually a point of conversation within the actual episode, which is surprising.
Yeah.
'Cause we talked about
we
Batman.
did talk about a lot of Batman. So over the weekend, for Batman Day, WB Games Montreal, who was the studio that put out Origins, Arkham Origins, not the best of the series,
No.
the worst of the
The
series,
worst
but
of the
still
series.
one of the series. Basically, they just tweeted like a general like Batman floodlight, happy 80th anniversary Batman Day, everybody, just your general Batman message. Scott Snyder, who is a comic author, I almost said artist, who's a comic author who wrote the Court of Owls run that we talked so much about on Saturday.
Yes.
Retweeted it and said, wait for it, #beware the Court of Owls, and then immediately deleted it.
Yep.
Which
Taken
means
out.
it was important.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was important. And everybody lost their shit. We're like,
Yeah.
we're getting a fucking Origin. We're getting a Court of Owls game. Like, that's what this is. That's what this has to be.
Yeah.
And then a couple days ago, WB Montreal tweets again. So I think this studio hasn't tweeted in a little while. Like this Twitter account was pretty much silent for like 3 years before all this.
Crap, that's
like
crazy.
they don't. The account has not been active.
Well, there you go.
And then a couple days ago, they tweeted something. They tweeted something that said "Capture the Night" and had like this morphing sigils gif. And we're all like, "This is it. this is it. It's coming. Like, and it was the day before the state of play, so we knew, we quote unquote knew it was going to be announced during the state of play.
It was like more than guaranteed. Something was going to happen.
We all knew, and everybody was waiting the entire time, and we have nothing.
Everybody's watching the end of that state of play live feed. We're like, wait. Where the hell's Batman? Wait a second. There's supposed to be something here.
There was an inside Xbox live stream. Nothing. Like oh my God. So now they just need to give us something, because you didn't announce it on Batman Day, which is weird. You didn't announce it on the state of play that immediately followed Batman Day, which would have made sense if you had to wait for Sony or PlayStation or whoever it is that's publicizing it. Like, what is? I need to know what this is, because if you look at that GIF, I don't know if you saw it, Curtis. I don't know what those sigils are.
What the heck are you pulling out over there?
Holy blue balls, Batman! They really screwed the pooch on this one.
They
Holy
did.
rusted plates, Batman.
They did.
Oh no! What were the? You said look it up. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah. So if you look up WB Games Montreal's Twitter account, they tweeted something, and it's got like all these morphing sigils, and I don't recognize any of them. So I don't know, like, what I don't know if I'm supposed to recognize them. I don't know. So, like, what the fuck does it mean? Are we getting a Court of Owls game? Because the only thing that points to the Court of Owls, as far as we know, is that Scott Snyder tweet. Which would be, like, if they were going to do a Court of Owls storyline, they would need to work with him, because he fucking wrote it.
Very closely.
So he would be the one that would know. And the fact that he deleted it so fast... You know what? I'm going to see him at Comic-Con next week, and I will ask him to his face.
There you go.
And get it. Scott Snyder?
If we don't have anything by then.
Scott Snyder is one of the nicest men walking this planet. Scott Snyder randomly, he goes around and randomly DMs, like, comic book fans, readers, and reviewers. And when I was in the Capeless Crusaders with Amy, I just checked, I looked down at my phone, and I was like, Scott Snyder. I thought it was like a story that popped up. And I tapped on it, and it was freaking Scott Snyder in our DMs. Like, hey, y'all, you guys want to review some of my books early?
Aww.
We're like, what?
There you go.
It was so weird. But so if you ask him, he will act. And everybody that's watching, please subscribe to Scott Snyder's YouTube channel. Watching him receive his books that are coming out and talk about them, he turns into a 5-year-old. And it only makes it better that he brings his kids in. And then he has all this Batman memorabilia. He's the cutest grown-ass man I've ever seen in my life.
He's easily one of my favorite Batman writers.
Like, he is one of the best.
He's
Absolutely.
so good.
He's really good.
So he would know if we were doing a Court of Owls game. And WB Games Montreal, please fucking tell us something, because we all thought it was going to be yesterday and it wasn't. So please. Yeah,
and I just looked at that. I have no idea what that's supposed to be.
Well,
okay, cool.
part of that is, obviously, one of them is the Court of Owls sigil. You got the dragon, which could represent Ra's al Ghul. You got... I don't know. I can't make out some of the other sigils.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So hopefully we'll get some information at some point. I want more Batman. It just seems like a completely missed opportunity that it wasn't announced this weekend. So I don't know. Like, if they weren't waiting for this weekend, then I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
Because there's really nothing else for the rest of the year. So who knows? We'll keep an eye on it. We'll let you know when we know.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of disappointments, Curtis,
Hi.
You sound very disappointed about this. Hulu is dropping the Ghost Rider show.
Okay. All right. Everybody, Grandpa's here. Let's have a talk.
Oy vey.
What if I watched, and I know, I hear the sneers right now. I am one of the 6 souls that watched almost all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I skipped the season before Ghost Rider, and I watched a little bit of the season after. But I can easily tell you, like, I went back because I was like, how are they going to do Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider? And can they really do it justice? And I went on, and that dude is the truth. That dude saved that whole season. Like, of course I love, what's her name, who plays Daisy, because she is amazing, and I love Ming-Na Wen, or I hope I said it in the right
Ming-Na
order.
Wen, yeah.
Ever since she was Chun-Li on that terrible Street Fighter movie.
Did I ever show you that?
I'll give you a hug after. Because the initial thought was to say I hate you, but I don't. I love you. I'm going to give you a hug after.
This is what I'm showing him.
It's going to be a really tight hug. So, like, just, like, they gave strong performances, but it got boring, and that's why I went away. But when he came back, just stop, Eddie. Stop it, Eddie. It was amazing. Like, he came on and he brought fire, he brought passion, and it's cool.
Because he's Ghost Rider.
Right.
Because he's Ghost Rider.
But dude, she'll be here all week, everyone.
Well, technically she won't be here this.
Technically she won't.
There you go.
Technically she will. Incredible. And then I watched an interview with them, and then you watch actors in a role, and then you hear them interviewing, and sometimes you're like, damn, you seem, as a person, so far away from what you're able to tap into. You have true chops. You go to that place. You become that character. You don't put your voice into the character. You find the character's voice.
Yep.
He was incredible. So when they announced the show, I was like, it made total sense to me. I was like, this is not a stretch. The charisma he brings to the screen, to me, he proved that he can carry a whole show by himself.
Yeah.
And with the dynamic with his brother and that whole side story, incredible. So to hear, and I didn't read the full article, Emma, so you might have to fill me in a little bit, but I don't understand where things broke down.
So Hulu is actually taking on they announced them both at the same time. They're taking on two shows. They were going to take on Ghost Rider and Hellstrom.
That's right. Hellstrom as well, right?
So Hellstrom is apparently still going. Apparently that's still on track. The Ghost Rider thing, it came down to creative differences between Hulu and the team making Ghost Rider. They came to what I think the way they phrased it was a creative impasse.
Yep. Which could not be resolved.
That they just couldn't get over. And the whole show fell apart because of it. And like, what could it have been? Because even just like 3 weeks ago, I even have it in the notes. I have his name as Robbie Reyes and not Gabriel Luna.
Right.
Just a few weeks ago, like he was still giving interviews and he was super excited about the show, like full on, like there was nothing wrong.
Right.
And now the whole thing's dead.
Yeah.
So it happened quickly. It must have been like some deal breaker type thing.
Well, and here's the thing. Mm-hmm. You take I'm more than certain, much like how we were talking about with Emma and there being more like her,
right? In
the similar fashion, I think with your passion for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
For sure.
As I showed you, I got a chance to talk to them out in San Diego,
absolutely,
and they're all like, I got a chance to talk to even the creators of the show and everything.
Oh, dope!
And they're all like super excited about everything for the future of Marvel in TV. Yeah. So when it comes to like things like this, like they're not gonna just let this lie. They're not gonna just be mindful and just.
Yeah,
like
take it sitting down.
Exactly.
Well,
so,
and who's going to pick it up though? Because it's
Disney Plus,
but Disney Plus won't take it because it's too dark for them. Disney Plus wants to be fully family friendly, and
True.
the show they were talking about making for Ghost Rider would not go on Disney Plus, which was the whole reason it was going to Hulu.
Well, I mean, you still got Freeform.
Does Disney actually own any stake in Freeform, or do they just
ABC owns
out?
Freeform?
Oh, they do. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So
why do you think that's why the Blackish show has all their spin-offs on Freeform?
Oh,
so
I
Freeform is a
all
subsidiary of ABC. Hulu is owned by. So you got to look at it this way. It's Disney.
Good shit.
So it's Disney, then it's ABC, then it's Hulu, and then it's Freeform.
Okay.
So.
And you know there's that partnership because they already, obviously Freeform has Cloak and Dagger, and then they're crossing over Cloak and Dagger, which is a Freeform show, with Runaways, which is a Hulu show. Yep. So I guess Freeform could pick it up.
And in my mind, I never separated that the Runaways was Hulu and that Cloak and Dagger was Freeform. So that's actually that much more of an incredible feat that they're crossing across platforms.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's why I was worried that it would never happen.
Because they were on two
different networks.
Right, yeah, that's true. Dang, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I like if Freeform could step in and be that thing. Now, the only thing is we also know, along with the different platforms, they have tiered budgets. Yeah. Because for each platform they budget accordingly. Hey, you're Freeform, you pull in less, so we can only provide you with
Cloak and Dagger looks good though. Like season 2 of Cloak and Dagger looks really like their budget got increased obviously past the first season. Like, it looks good.
And that's a nice thing too. Is like if you do show improve, they don't mind putting more behind it because they're like, look, you did really good with what we gave you.
Yeah.
So I just hope that I do want it to go to Freeform, but the only thing was one of the really dope things about it that they got really well was the CGI.
Yeah.
Like when he went from his human form to being Ghost Rider.
And you got that ABC budget.
And you have that ABC budget, you can really make it look like that. But I will say this though. Luckily, he's not one of those actors where you need to keep pulling that trope to pull people's attention back in.
Yeah.
He has that raw charisma.
That's good.
So they can lean on the fact that maybe they don't, almost kind of like how the Netflix shows did. when you do have to show the superpowers, you make it as impactful as you can.
Yeah.
But I think they'll do a better job with it.
Well, and then think of it too as well. If Freeform does pick it up, you have to keep in mind, by that point in time, Disney Plus will already be in full swing.
Yeah.
Which means revenue will be coming in for
Right,
Disney,
money will
which
be coming
means more money can be reallocated
Yeah.
for a lot of their subsidiaries, which could mean more feasible and quality shows
Right.
on some of their lower tier streaming platforms, like Freeform.
Freeform. That's
So,
a fact, bro. Good,
that's a
good call,
big-
Eddie. Good call. We'll see.
Man, look what ABC Family turned into.
I know.
Scary altogether.
For real. And so what else is left on the plate?
I think the only other gaming thing I have is that After Party finally has a release date, which I don't know if anybody cares about that, but I know Eddie does.
It looks awesome. Like, seriously, we were watching the trailer again, and I got really all excited all over again.
It's so good.
It looks
finally
awesome.
Yeah, I think we saw it at E3 like 2 years ago. And
Yeah.
finally, it was always just like coming soon. And now, October 29th, After Party. Watch that. And Curtis, do you have some comics for us?
I do, because everybody knows that it's time for Oblivion's comic book reviews, or as Corey likes to call it.
On National Comic Book Day, no less.
On National Comic Book Day, no less. And I do have more than one this time, but we will keep it brief. So this is one that has gotten so important that Emma, maybe, just maybe, will break her rule and introduce a new comic book into the stack that she already needs to read.
Oh, boy.
And eventually get to it in 4 years.
Is it Powers of X?
Powers of X.
Powers of X.
Number 5. So we only got 2 more of these. It's 6 for House of 10. I mean, excuse me. 6
of
for
X.
House of X. 6 for Powers
I mean,
of 10.
you're not wrong. X equals 10, and
This,
you know,
this
just
is true. Roman numerals. We know. Thanks, Jonathan Hickman. I'm giving I give my favorite writer the most crap. I swear, I go on Twitter and I just troll Jonathan Hickman. I cuss him out.
Hey.
I love him very much.
if you have the connections, you use them, right?
Darn straight. This book only gets like it will go from being adventurous and then getting more adventurous and then being like mysterious and getting more mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one got more cool. Like the way that they're using Cerebro,
Yeah.
and Cerebro has versions. I'm not
Interesting.
gonna
That is
give up
interesting.
too much. But we do finally come into one of my favorite concepts, and while I loved Westworld so much, we're backing up people's minds. We're doing hard backups once a year.
Yeah.
We're doing dot backups or slight incremental backups every few months. We're going really, really far out there, and that's not even the deepest part of the pool in this book.
Yeah.
You see Mr. Sinister show up, so you know there's going to be some genetic tinkerings going on. That can only spell disaster.
Pocket Asian, by the way. Curtis is wearing a mask because he's just awesome. So just leave him alone. He's good.
Nobody cared about me until I put on a mask.
There you go.
Theatricality and deception. We'll do more Bane later.
I was just going to say.
But we'll do Mr. Sinister right now. Incredible. He comes in. He does what he does. He screws things up. And Jonathan Hickman just leaves so many things weighing in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
And what's nice is that, like, anybody who's reading the series, who is checking out me and Corey doing the Krakoa cast, bear in mind that this book spins off into X-Men #1, into New Mutants #1, and Excalibur comes back, and we get X-Force, Mutant Black Ops teams, and the Marauders. We're getting all these books, so he's planting a lot of seeds. Don't expect everything to get wrapped up in the next 2 issues.
Yeah.
But this is not an X-Men book. This is a mutant book. It doesn't say X-Men anywhere on here. It says X, but that's because they all have the mutant X gene. This is not an X-Men book. This is a mutant book. You have to bring the mutants back to power before you can make the X-Men relevant. Make mutants power. Make mutants great again.
There you go.
Thanks, Trump. Not. Maybe. Anywho,
Nah.
overall, make sure you go and pick this one up. You're basically buying money. If you buy a first printing, even if you don't read
Yeah.
it, you're buying money. This series it already is historical. That's that. The other one that I have is some local creators. And I got one more share after this one, but that one's gonna be a quick one. Union St. Choir. Nooligan, who has made this very nice toy that I've brought here that I'll unbox later for the after show. The special edition. This is only for San Diego Comic-Con, I think? Yeah, it's supposed to be like limited edition. Anyway, we have it here. We'll unbox it. Incredible story. I'm actually going to say a lot less about this one because I want people to read it. But Ben Schwartz, who owns Empire's Comics Vault, one of my favorite comic spots next to Oblivion, and Newligan, and he put his real name there that I'm not going to try to pronounce. Incredible. Now, we'll pass this around so you guys can see the art. We can get some oohs and ahs from there. But please support local because this is incredible art. Doing toys for DC, running comic book shops, and it's all here in Sacramento. So anybody who's local and nearby, obviously pick this up from Oblivion Comics and Coffee, and you can only get Union State Choir. Maybe I'm lying, I don't know. But you can only get it from from Empire's Comics Vault. So please go there and check it out. That is Curtis's Comic Book Corner. Thank you, everybody. And when you go into Oblivion Comics and Coffee, please mention Video Game Bang. You will get one of these stickers, maybe two, if you're nice. And you will get 10% off of your purchase. As long as it's not alcohol, you will get 10% off.
Hi, Nanu.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Well, there you go.
Theatricality and deception.
That leaves it back to Miss Emma.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yes. That is Happy Wednesday, everybody. I guess that is our Wednesday show. I guess that is we did not mention we are sponsored by Oblivion Comics and Coffee, Vast.gg, and Energy Esports. And am I done? Am I allowed to go now?
Wow. Well, I mean,
before you do,
I was just gonna say there are people that we got to say goodbye to, but
can I sign off?
Are you streaming? Do you have any stream
schedule?
schedule?
Oh shit, that's right.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you got.
You?
I was like, you guys got schedules. I mean, and then you got something big going on, Emma, towards the end of the week, and then you got Curtis's stuff going on online, and then our podcast. I mean, come on, Emma.
Hey, Curtis, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitch, where I just got sponsored by Taboo Ohana Gaming Chairs, another local company. So come check me out there. And I got another sponsor too. I'm sponsored by Computer Booter, Repair, and Gaming Lounge. So if you want to play some retro games, go there. Once a week, I'll be doing a retro console stream. I have a Sega Dreamcast that I have for this week that I plugged up and figured out how to actually get it working on stream.
Nice.
Because it's composite cables.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll be doing that, and I'll be playing Shenmue. So thank you for Taboo Ohana, the Sacred Family, who came on here recently. Incredible guys. I'm very happy to be a part of the team. I have a discount code I'll be sharing with y'all. My discount code is a little bit bigger of a discount than most other people's codes. So
brag about it.
Right.
I got to brag about the fact that my people who buy chairs from me get a bigger discount. So
there you go.
Hit me up. Come check me out on the stream, and I'll be reading comics and stuff too. I got a lot of comic book related stuff going on. Also check me out on Thinking Critical. I'm on Thinking Critical YouTube channel. Videos are getting some views there, and also check out me and Corey on the Krakoa Cast. We might be doing that tonight. Probably not. I got a feeling he's asleep upstairs. Eddie, what you got going on? You film-losser, you?
Well, I am the host of a podcast, actually the brother podcast to the Video Game Bang, the Film-Losophers. We debut each week on Wednesday with a new episode. We got a new episode that debuted this morning on the most recent Rambo film. Check that out. Listen in. We got some great stuff in store. We didn't really talk about it, but oddly enough, we got press screenings for Joker next week, so we're going to be reviewing Joker and dropping our thoughts on that one next Wednesday as well. Keeping everything in mind with what Emma said, so I'm just so you know, I will. Yeah, but you can catch us on the website at filmlosophers.com and on the socials at facebook.com/filmlosophers and on our Twitter at twitter.com/filmlosophy101. Also on the Instagrams at filmlosophy101 as well. So, and Emma, any streaming schedules? Anything coming up big?
Idea.
Any big trips?
I leave for New York Comic Con on Monday, so who the fuck knows when I'm going to stream because I'm mostly just trying to finish up costumes right now. It's actually why I'm covered in paint, and I'm about to leave here and go back to paint some more. So just follow me on Twitter. That's where I post all my stuffs. Twitter.com/MSGuides, where you can usually find my info on what I'm up to, what I'm doing, and what I'm doing next.
Which you actually posted a video of your recent development of your jacket.
I did.
Which was pretty cool. So it looks like it's coming together really well.
It is. I finally finished the sleeves on that fucking monster of a jacket. I never, ever want to see another ribbon so long as I live. 4,500 ribbons individually cut, straightened, and placed with precision.
Yep.
And I want to fucking die.
And it's going to take that security guard just 2 seconds to pull one off and trip Emma to 100% in the other direction.
I'll be so mad.
Flash forward to Emma's next birthday. A dump truck. Boop, boop. She walks outside. hey Emma, happy birthday from Curtis, and it's just like
all these streamers.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
all these streamers, these plastic streamers.
I'll die. I never want to see another ribbon in my life. I hate ribbons. I don't want anything to do. They're worthless. I hate them. Anyway, I'm gonna go finish that shit now. So we will see you maybe Saturday. We always have Saturday shows, but this week is a maybe. This week is a maybe because I know Nexi is out of town for TwitchCon.
Right.
I will be. It's my last night to finish up for Comic-Con. It is. I know Corey just got back in town as we're speaking. He might be dead to the world.
Like I literally, that's why I ran out because Corey was banging on the door. I'm like, who the heck's here
Isn't
tonight?
this? Don't you have a?
Nope.
Never mind.
Nope, I got it. That's why
Not have a key to his own house.
No, it's because I have it tonight, so that's why.
Or does Bane have it?
So thank you guys so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next one. Have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. And I don't know how to end this, so get the fuck out.
Well, I mean, that's one way to do it. Night.